What's going on, everybody? Emmett Ferguson here, and still ugly after plastic surgery. Why you got to read this book, Psycho-Cybernetics. Now, I want you to put yourself into the shoes of a plastic surgeon right now. You do surgeries on all types of people. You spent decades of your education understanding how to make people look better, and at the end of the day, I guess the good purpose of that is to help them feel more confident, feel more ready to build a better relationship, to do better in their career, whatever that is, whatever those reasons that anybody would want to get plastic surgery for, or just to improve themselves. So put yourself into those shoes. For a second, imagine yourself that you've been doing it for years, and one day you come across this situation where you've been making people look great. They look hot after they've done surgery with you. And as a matter of fact, even the people who considered themselves ugly or by society standards were not very attractive before, suddenly they start getting compliments, and you even made attractive people look even better. Now, after the surgery, you do a little bit of research into these people's lives, and so you find out that some of these people still don't feel confident. They still think they're ugly. And, this is not only an insult, not so much an insult, but this is not only an offense to the work that you do, because they're saying that you didn't do your job, basically, but they do look absolutely fine. What is the gap between that person whose appearance is better, who has achieved more confidence, and has even had a bonus in their life or career, versus, what's the difference between that person who still doesn't feel confident with the other person who has also had a similar surgery, still looks more attractive, and does feel confident? So Maxwell Maltz asked himself this exact question. He wanted to know why, despite the people after surgery, there was a lot of people that looked more attractive, and in those groups of people, he's a great surgeon. In those groups of people, there were some people that still felt ugly inside, or still felt they would look at themselves in a mirror and still think they were ugly, and then other people who their confidence, their life, things that they did would just skyrocket because of the impact that a good plastic surgeon had on their life. So with this book, Maxwell Maltz, he's one of the first people, right? So personal development's been around for a while. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, read the works of William James, a whole bunch of other scientists, and as well as Martin Sweat, I think Orson Sweat Martin or something, one of the personal development people, and compiled that book. But Maxwell Maltz is one of the first people credited with applying science to personal development. Think about it. He's a doctor. He's a scientist. And he applied science to understanding personal development. And with that, there's even a testimonial from Tony Robbins back here. Tony Robbins testimonial, right? If anybody knows the importance of combining science with personal development, not just doing all the positive thinking stuff, but understanding why that works and how that works and how to better apply it, it's Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins, I've heard him credit this book with some of his ideas. So it's not just about having worthwhile goals. It's not just about how to develop compassion and cultivate all these things to live a happier, more successful life, but it's the how that stuff all happens. Why some people are able to achieve their goals and others aren't. Why some people who, after plastic surgery, take two people, one person, they both look great. One person does not feel like they look great and still thinks they're ugly, while the other person still has massive momentum in their life. So with that, this is going to help you understand what it takes to take that next step in your life. Not just the idea, it's not just a book that tells you, oh, well, think positively and in 100 different ways and you'll get to where you want to go. No, this goes beyond that. This goes to, if you don't believe in the power of goal setting and you've heard it before and you still haven't set your goals, and you're not where you want to be in life, this might be the book that takes you to the next level. There might be something holding you back, and some people don't work well with goals. Some people don't want to set goals, and that's fine. But if there's somewhere that you want to be, and it seems like a long stretch, whether it's physically, whether it's for your career, relationships, financially, business, living up to the standards that you set for yourself, that your family has set for yourself, or whatever you think society has set for yourself, this book is going to help you get a peace of mind. Not only is there, the science behind it, the theory, the how, and the actions, but also the very specific, things that you could do to get results. And of course, it's based on the ideas of personal development, things that have been around for a very long time, but applied from a doctor's standpoint, MD, FICS. I'm not sure what FICS is, but definitely MD is important. From a medical doctor, or surgeon, a successful surgeon, and to be able to apply his way of thinking to create a process, a series of steps that can help anybody start to work towards achieving their goals. Because what you learn from this book is, at the end of the day, it's not just about setting the goals, right? Anybody can set a goal, they can work towards that goal, and they can achieve it or not achieve it. And if they achieve it, they feel better about themselves. But if they don't achieve it, they start to feel worse about themselves. So before you even try to set those goals, before you even try to, overcome your past, before you even say, before you even sit down and say, I like myself, I am becoming a better person, or whatever. Before you do all those things that other personal development books talks about, there's steps that you could take from this book that are going to help you accelerate that path and make you all that much more successful and that much more effective in your approach to those things. And it's just that powerful. It's just that strong, because if people are not achieving the goals and they've set them before, or there's some people who set really ambitious goals, they don't necessarily achieve those, but they achieve other big goals, and some people feel good about it, some people don't. And there's that competitive spirit of, oh, if I haven't achieved it, then I shouldn't be happy, or something like that. That goes a little beyond what all these different personalities, right? But what really separates the people who feel successful, who feel happy, who are successful, from those who ultimately have a incredibly negative self-image. And you can be broke, destitute, out of shape, and have an overly positive self-image, and people can assume things, but to understand that, why someone in that position could be in a better situation than someone who's worked their butts off, who's in great physical shape, who is actually attractive and really smart, and has attained a little bit but hasn't achieved what they've wanted. Understanding this change in perception, understanding why this happens, knowing what you can do about it, knowing what others can do about it, is very powerful. And on top of that, on an individual level, this book is great. But just think about, if you're a coach, if you're an influencer, if you want to be a motivational speaker, if you want to be a leader, and as a leader, you have to work with people and you have to help other people reach their fullest potential. Knowing this is going to be very helpful to you. Knowing the contents of this book is going to be very helpful to you, Because if there's someone who's on your team that you're working with or something that, isn't as confident, yet their abilities are incredible, this is the type of book that can help you cultivate that. That can, and whether you do it specifically as like a coach, manager, leader, or whatever, or whether you even just suggest this book to them, it's going to have a everlasting effect. That's how great the materials in this book is. And honestly, this commentary by Matt Fury. He's a well-known master of martial arts, and he has some great courses too on mental strengths, on making sure that you manage your mind as well as the physical aspect. But besides Matt Fury being the president of Psycho-Cybernetics Foundation, I think out of all the people in the world who would give this book a good recommendation or good testimonial, I think Tony Robbins is really the only person that is needed. Is arguably, there's probably a lot of people that could have talked about this, but in the area of a scientific approach to personal development, a tangible understanding of how people can apply personal development, improve their lives, improve their self-image, improve their prospects and careers, feel more confident, and achieve their goals and self-respect and everything. In terms of understanding how all of that works, I think Tony Robbins is probably one of the top names out there. It doesn't mean that there's no other scientist out there or researcher or personal development guru or expert out there it doesn't mean that they don't know as much, but it could have been easily their names on this, and I would say that about them as well. But ultimately, Tony Robbins, I think, is enough. You don't need another testimonial from, say, Fortune talking about how great this book is, or Inc. or Entrepreneur or Financial Times Weekly about how effective or useful this book is. So with that, there's a link in the description below. Check this out. Very, very good book. And whether, it's a physical beauty or a personal challenge where you don't believe you have the ability to do something and there's something holding you back, you gotta check this out. Psycho-Cybernetics. It's been around for a while. It's a well-known book. You can probably get it for free in your library. This is an updated and expanded version, and there's a link in the description below. And I wish you the best with everything that you're doing. This isn't just about looks or being attractive or being ugly or whatever, or even motivating anyone to get plastic surgery. It literally is about how to take control of your own self-image, to manage your beliefs about yourself, what your perception of you is, and taking control of that and making sure that it's the best possible, most effective, in the most effective way. So with that, be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you like this review. Wonderful book. Obviously, I'm just going to give it a 10 out of 10. I wouldn't be reviewing this book if I didn't think it was good, and I probably wouldn't have even read it if I didn't think it was good. But as someone who has definitely dove deep into the ideas from this book, is amazing. So one more final point. 30 million readers. That is a huge number. That is, let's see, a population of 8,880 million would be 1%. So, a book that has reached about 0.5% of the world, that's a lot. Very few books have done that. So, check that out. Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, with some great introduction and commentary by Matt Fury. And there's a link in the description below to Amazon where you can purchase that. Thank you for watching this video. Have a wonderful day. Wish you the best.